power people in this country. By now we should be talking about solar in the north and hydro in the south. By now I expected us to develop a capacity that when the north, for instance, have the natural opportunity of sunlight, take opportunity of the solar. The south that probably did not have that luxury of sunlight too much can start depending on the hydro. So I will grow the two pari passu, and the dependence of the entire nation on the hydro generated electricity will be reduced, and the hydro will take care of some part of the country, the solar will take care of some part of the country. The world has moved beyond talking about national grid all the time. The story of national grid failing should not be our story at 63. In the next few years, we should be talking about gravitating even the solar, not going solar. We should have gone solar by now, but I think the new Minister of Power should be looking at this direction, so that we are going to reduce the tension and the pressure of the hydro-generated electricity and be looking at the area of improving and progressing the solar power. And when we are doing that, we should be ready to confront the cabal in the electricity sector, the front line, head on. Anybody who is going to be the Minister of Education, the Minister of Power should be ready to know that he's in a battle, and he should be battle ready to uncage Nigeria from the cabal that has actually captured Nigeria in the electricity plantation.
Okay, sir. You also touched on palm oil, one of our products in Nigeria. It is on record that countries like Russia, Malaysia, they give a lot of our the dairy products we have, like butter and all of that. Did they say we shouldn't continue with our own level of production? Did they say we shouldn't, increase our production? What would you say? How do we juxtapose the fact that we are not producing as much as we should produce?
My dear, it is unfortunate this matter you have just raised. It's one of the tragedies that have struck our nation. You see, there is one thing we call comparative advantage. Okay. Nigeria as a nation has a huge comparative advantage of agriculture. Palm oil alone can take care of unemployment of Nigerian graduates.
Valid.
Palm oil alone. In each of the local government, 774 local government in Nigeria, there should be at least 500 local government that will thrive with palm oil plantation. We have a NIOT in Edo that is researching palm oil, a research that is not useful to us, or a research that is dusted. Palm oil alone can engage Nigeria youth. Cocoa plantation alone can engage Nigeria youth. You understand? If our initiatives are not going to be limited to textbooks, I think this is our area of strength which we immediately go back into. You see, we can stabilize flora, we can stabilize economy. If we go back to agriculture without lip service, when people are not doing agriculture in the offices, you understand, when they are doing it in the real farm and the real farmers. For instance, I want to tell you that if every household, if everybody if I have the capacity, I will tell the president that everybody that has vacant land should engage that land in agriculture, even if it's subsistence from now on.
Valid.
And let each local government of Nigeria come up with a proposal of plantation. For instance, I'm from Oyo State. If out of the 33 local government that have SPGA, we have at least 20 that have a plantation each. If each of them take a plantation on a crop that they have advantage over, we are going to have nothing less than 25 plantations. If 25 agricultural plantations on cash crop is engaging 5,000 young people with ultramodern equipment, times 5,000 young people every year, that's 25. That is going to give you close to 200 and something thousand. You understand? Every year. You understand? If you do that every year, and we can, do you know when they are engaged in the farm, the other shape values in the product they are going to be producing, other people will be engaged along the route. But we cannot continue running a nation in a proposal, in textbooks, in rhetoric that will not end, in conferences that were spending billions of money, and nothing will come out. I think we should be committed to this nation. administration after now.
Thank you very much, sir. And let me just quickly come in with this. I am a bit concerned. I'm still a bit concerned about the state of insecurity because without adequate security, of course, a lot of the other things that the government is trying to do may not work out. So what more do you think the government of the new administration of President Tinubu can do, to assure Nigerians of their safety at all times?
Very good angle. You see, as for me, number one, I think we should increase the budget of security that will accommodate expanded recruitment into police, into military. We cannot be saying there is no job when we have not gotten enough security we needed. They should expand employment into police, into civil defense, into the Nigerian military, into the custom, into immigration and other security agencies. We should equally consider the community police or state police. What is our fear about state police? Except that we have a very bad state of mind. If the governors are sincerely committed to this nation, why would they abuse the state police? State police is in America, you go there. State police have it here, they have it in UK. And none of them are traveling to that place. You understand? We cannot be talking about unemployment when we have not gotten enough security. Look at this youth service. If at least a quarter of those who come for youth service were actually, okay, if they're interested in both police, this is your fault. From youth service, they mobilize them. There will be a lot of people that are ready to do it. After the youth service, they are going back home without doing anything. They'll be playing Ludo and chess everywhere in the neighborhood.
All right, and you talked about in the spirit of making this great nation, or in the spirit of making this nation great again. And what do you think this government can do to help make this nation stable again?
Number one. We must embark on massive welfare program for the citizens. See, let me tell you, for a citizen to be committed to their nation, they must have their future guaranteed. Let me tell you one secret of developed world. Why they are developing and they are discovering. Average American citizen don't think of the next meal. They think of the next invention. Did you grant that one? Average American citizens don't think of the next meal. They think of the next invention. If you have a nation where people are worried about the next meal, they won't think about the next discovery. That's number one. Number two is that we should embark on massive national orientation program. The Federal Ministry of Information is not doing the job expectedly. The nations, it is important to work on people's orientation. But the natural commitment to a nation will come from the guaranteed welfare they get from their nation. Let people get support from education. When parents are sure that education of their children is being well subsidized by the country, there is no way a Nigerian nation can remove subsidy from education. We have not gotten to where we are going. That would be difficult. That would be wicked to the nation. Share you understand? A nation that has preponderance of mass of human resources, human asset development, human assets, that's the nation that will luxuriate education. It cannot be in this state of development and luxuriate education. We must subsidize education, massive subsidization. Number three is that we must support the small-scale farmers, the small-scale business owner, content industries, and we allow our own growth businesses to grow. Then we must support manufacturing, especially agro manufacturing in this country. And we must put disciplined people in charge of things so that the money will not be entering into a conduit pipe again.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Idris Ismail. We really appreciate this extensive conversation with you this morning. Happy Independence Day in advance to you.
I'm happy too, and I'm indeed great to be in Nigeria. I've used the logo of Nigeria somewhere, some places before.
It is good to be a patriotic Nigerian. Thank you very much for having you on the program today. We appreciate it. All right. We also have a video of, the Vice President Shettima on Nigeria at 50. Let's see, what he has for at 63. I beg your pardon. Let's see what he has to lecture us on.
We owe it. The present administration also recognizes that the sacrifices made by each Nigerian will never be in vain. Such solidarity with our economic revival strategy, from the bustling streets of Lagos to the serene landscape of Enugu, has inspired our focus on diverse sectors, from agriculture to digital technology, from healthcare to education. We knew from the starting point of this race to serve the people that the track will not be without its holes and ponds. We knew that challenges will arise and obstacles will test our resolve. But as our history has shown, Nigerians are too ambitious to be broken by a temporary setback. We are going to emerge from this phase of our reform stronger, each of us with renewed hope, as we honor the labor of our heroes past, as we reflect on the values and principles that have brought us this far, as we strive to excel in all that we do, and as we work together towards a future where opportunity knows no bounds. Let's remember that our most potent weapon is the overriding resolve of the majority to choose unity over chaos and democracy over anarchy. Happy independence.
Let me assure you that beyond the celebration of the 63rd independence anniversary, the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation has a coordinating point for implementation of policies and decisions of government that has made full arrangements to document and carry forward the critical outcomes of the symposium to the highest level of political leadership. Where necessary, relevant national think tank institutions, such as the National Institute for Strategic Studies, NIPS, and the Nigerian Institute for Social and Economic Research, NISO, would be engaged to deepen the articulation.
The issue of coming up with a living wage is the foundation of a corrupt-free society. If a worker is paid well, he is paid enough to be able to afford his basic needs. It will help to eliminate corruption in a significant way. Because he does not need to steal to be able to feed his family. He doesn't need to steal to be able to pay his rent. He doesn't have to steal to take his children to school. Today in the Nigerian project, this is what is completely absent.
We owe it a duty to ourselves, to our children, and the generations yet unborn to play our parts as leaders at whatever level we find ourselves. The election of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, despite all the odds on his path, must minister to us as a nation about the awesomeness and grace of God. As the president, he has placed before us his vision of renewed hope. At this time in our nation's history, he is the eagle on our nation's coat of arms. The visionary has perched, but his plumage is going to be provided by all of us in leadership positions at all levels across the three tiers of government in this nation at national and subnational levels. The issues that I've identified in this paper are the feathers to be regenerated by the effective leadership that he is expecting you all to provide in your respective positions. He is anxiously waiting for these feathers to enable him spread those wings to their full span and lift up for Nigeria to soar to the skies of his socio-economic development, national unity, and prosperity. Happy 63rd anniversary of our nation's independence.
All right, welcome back. We are still talking about Nigeria at 63. It is not yet, the Independence Day, but we are just preparing towards the Independence Day celebration. And we have been talking on how far so far Nigeria has gone. And we also have an online news publisher who is Dapo Falade with us in the studio this morning. Dapo, you're welcome to the program. Dapo, can you hear us? You're welcome to the program.
I'm hearing you clearly.
All right. Good morning. As we are celebrating Nigeria at 63, there are some concerns going round talking about the insecurity in the educational sector. I want you, to shed more light on, of course, someone said the educational sector is really blooming well. It is growing. And we know that the new administration came up with some policies to make the educational sector a little bit more relaxed. I want you to talk about the insecurity in the educational sector, because we have had cases of, students being kidnapped, students being shot dead. So we just want you to shed more light on that.
The educational sector is just a minute part of the larger country called Nigeria. And what we are experiencing there is just a reflection of what is happening in society at large. We are talking about insecurity in the education sector. Can you just tell me, where do we really feel secured? In the sense of it, as Nigeria and as Nigerians. Just recently, like you rightly mentioned, some kidnappers or gunmen were invading schools, especially up north there, kidnapping students. As at the last count, we were able to understand that about 60 students were kidnapped, out of which less than 20 has been rescued. It is a sad story on our development as a nation or as a country. And it shows that just like we have in every other sector where there is virtually absence of security in all aspects of our life, they are now going into the educational sector to perform this heinous crime. Of course, we've been having it in years past. The Dapchi girls are there, the Sambis are, what the Boko Haram did to these people. Now we thought the storm is over with the advent of this new government. But what we are experiencing now shows that nothing has really changed. It is sad, very, very sad. So for me, I'm still waiting to see what the government will do in this aspect.
Okay.
The President Bola Ahmed Tinubu directed security agencies to make sure that the students kidnapped were rescued. This is not a new order.
But
we've been having same order.
But you said
those in the position of authority will tell us that they are going to take action.
Thank you, Mr. Falade.
People asking to rescue students. What are we doing to forestall such occurrence again? These are the things that we should be looking into.
Okay, thank you.
Proactive measures rather than talking about, taking actions after each must have been done.
Thank you very much, Mr. Falade. And let me just quickly do a follow-up on that, on your explanation by asking, would you subscribe to a school of thought that says that, that believes rather that, the deep state of insecurity in Nigeria has external influences, that maybe some external forces are the reasons why Nigerian government